So the latent papyrus, different things in that papyrus. Little $5 book by Dover. You see, by Griffiths. Griffiths was the person who bought the papyrus, and it was in the British Museum. But that particular, so Jung patterned half his stuff was off that, and so there's a thing called the Negrito. You was thinking Negro, which was negative, even though the Afrocentric scholars tried to come in and give you some other thing. They didn't understand the concept of where the shit came from. Excuse the expression. Then it comes from the word Negrito. The Negrito comes from a Kemetic term that the Arabs started using. Because remember now, the Arabic language and the Kemetic language, the Arabic language is a derivative. You see. So the word Negrito means the black sun. Now, it says Saturn, which is the planetary representation of Sirius, is identified with Yahweh. And is also called Sol Nigger. S-O-L-N-I-G-E-R. Sol Nigger, the black sun. So Sol, which means sun. Solomon. Amun, which means hidden. Solomon, which means hidden sun. Metaphysical. You understand what I'm saying? Sol, which means sun. Sol Nigger, which means, Sol means sun. Nigger, which means, comes from the word Negrito, which means black sun. Or Negro comes from the black sun. Some people say, well, that means dead also. Well, death on the third dimension means life in another dimension. This is death. So if you call something else death, that means life. That's what they say, the book of the dead. But it's also called the book of the coming forth by day, which means life. So death, which you know it, is life, and this is death. Trapped in a physical body, the jailhouse. The mummy bandages. When you see Osiris wrapped in mummy casings, this is it. This is the mummy. You wearing the mummy. It was a metaphysical. You want to get Jeremiah's book, Egyptian Book of the Dead and the Ancient Mysteries of Amenta for $9. That class is taken out of Ancient Kemet, or Ancient Egypt, Light of the World. The bigger book for $90. But that book, the book of, which is the most authentic book of coming forth by day. The other one is just translated, but they don't go into the scientific part of it or the metaphysical part. And Massey did, because Massey was a spiritual psychic, and he had the goddess Sekhmet with him. And the goddess Sekhmet walked him through the actual papyrus and told him what time it was. So the mummy, this is the mummy. You are trapped in swaddling bandages. This is the mummy, and you're going to rise up. Okay, the Sol Nigger is the alpha meal literature, but there is a primordial man. Sol Nigger means primordial man. You the primordial man, primal. They say primitive. Primitive means primal, primordial man, first man. Also called Saturn Chronos, or Sebek Chronos, or Sut, or Sirius, or Sutan. The Gnostics saw the prince of darkness responsible for evil in the world. Evil as an adversary of the god of the element, which is the element needed to transcend to the God image. Now what they mean by evil? Anytime, see, you got to get out of this spooked up devil thing. Anytime you see evil in the Gnostic scriptures, it's talking about an adversary or evil opposed to the physical. You are trapped, your spirit is trapped into the physical, and you're limited. You got to doggone take a dump, you got to eat, you got to do all those things which is acquired functions based on your spiritual Godhead got trapped in this physical jailhouse. The dead zone, the casket, the mummy. But what they say is when they talk about the prince of darkness, they're talking about that one who is dialectical opposite, opposed from the physical, that can wake you up to another level. This is another aspect of God.